I'm Eric Erickson of theresurgent.com. I wonder sometimes if people of faith and politics are doing it slightly wrong. We keep getting worked up about what's happening in Washington, D.C., and we send money to candidates all over the country. What about locally? How often do you participate locally? Not just in politics, that's not what I'm talking about, but in local charities and pregnancy crisis clinics and churches and other outlets in your community. The reason I ask this is I've been dwelling a lot on Jeremiah 29, verses 4 through 7 in particular. God tells the Israelites who have been sent into exile now, the Jews in exile in Babylon, to seek the welfare of the city in which you are in exile. And there you will find your welfare. Pray to the Lord for the benefit of the local city and work for the good of those who live there. God tells them to build houses and plant gardens and have children and marry their children and find wives for their sons and find husbands for their daughters, to seek the welfare of their local community. And I do think that city there is local when you look at it in context. Certainly we are to pray nationally, and I'm not encouraging you to write off national politics. But are you focused locally? And the reason I ask is because I think about a lot of the anger right now in national politics, and the reality is nothing has changed. Obamacare is still the law of the land. Republicans haven't repealed it. They haven't reformed taxes. I don't know if they even will. But even among people on the left who are so angry right now about Donald Trump as president, nothing has really changed. Washington has not profoundly changed your life. But your local school board is going to change the lives of your kids if they're in public school. Your local county administrators, your planning and zoning, they can disrupt you. If you're a nonprofit, if you're a Christian crisis pregnancy center, they can cause problems. Have you sought the welfare of the city in which you're in exile? Because you, as a person of faith, you are in exile. We're homesick for a land we haven't been to. We long to be there. And God says He'll return us from exile. He will hear our prayers. We will turn to Him. We will focus on Him. But in the meantime, we're to build houses and plant gardens and get married and have families and seek the welfare of our cities. And in those cities, we will find our welfare. You see, I think when we pour all of our resources into Washington, D.C., it's really abstract. People in Washington, they don't necessarily know you, but your next door neighbor is going to know you. The homeless man at the local homeless shelter, he's going to know you. If you're participating with your kids who are in public school on the local school board, and making sure they know about your concerns, they're going to know you in a way your congressman is not going to know you. If you're in prayer for the needs of your community, if you're working in your local community, if you're helping fund the local pregnancy center, leading mothers to the gospel, rescuing children who would otherwise be aborted, well, they're going to know you. You're going to build relationships locally. And when the culture in the United States changes against people of faith, in your local community, even those who may be skeptical and not share your beliefs, they're going to know you. They're going to know you're a good person. They're going to look for your interest, and you will find your welfare in the city that you're taking care of. Washington has gotten so abstract and so powerful, and everyone pours all of their hopes and ambitions in Washington, D.C. on both sides. The culture war is not going to stop, and the other side wants your surrender, and you can't surrender, and I get it. You've got to participate nationally. You've got to participate with the Supreme Court, but you're not to lay your stores and salvation in earthly things. You're to look to the future. You're to look to the kingdom that is to come. You're to plant a garden. You're to cast a shadow that resembles Eden. Even if you can't bring Eden, even if you can't bring heaven on earth, you're still to seek the welfare of your local community. God commands us to. And I think a lot of times those of us who are Christians in politics, and we look on the world today and say, gracious Lord, what's going on? The world seems out to get us. The world is out to get you. The world hates the things of God. We know this. But we're still to be a light in the world. We're still to go into our community. Yes, support that candidate on the far side of the country you've never met. Maybe he will know you. Maybe he will remember you. But I guarantee you, your county commissioner will know you. Your city councilman will know you. Your local charities will know you. Your local homeless people who you feed will know you, because you're to seek the welfare of your city. Whether it's Dallas or Houston or Albuquerque or Des Moines or Atlanta or Macon or Columbia or you name it, wherever you are listening to me right now on the internet, seek the welfare of your city, and in that city there you will find your welfare. That's what God tells you. You don't have to abdicate your responsibility nationally. You don't have to walk away from national politics. You shouldn't. But you should prioritize where you are locally. You should prioritize your state. And in seeking the welfare of your city and seeking the welfare of your county and seeking the welfare of your state and your region, there you will find your welfare. Don't pour all of your time, talent, and treasure into changing Washington, because Washington's not going to change unless you change the hearts and the souls and the bodies of your community locally. If you're a conservative, it's all about local politics anyway. This shouldn't be hard for you. We see the fight and the fury in Washington and how Washington matters so much to all of us. But again, what are you doing locally? I would challenge you, as I have to challenge myself, to think about local politics and think about local charities and think about local concerns and think about the local homeless men and think about the local children and think about the local schools and think about the local values and think about those in your community. We're here to build houses and plant gardens and get married and have children and raise those children in your values so that they are then committed in turn to your community, and your values spread not just through your community but through your children, all of you together changing a local community. Seek first the kingdom and then seek the welfare of your city, and in changing the hearts and minds in your city towards you and people of faith, then maybe we can actually change Washington. But this fight in Washington, where we're pouring our time and hearts and talent and treasure just into Washington, D.C., we're just sending a different crop of sinners up to Washington. Maybe instead we should focus on the plight of the people here, where we are, in our communities. Thank you for considering it. I'm Eric Erickson. You can go every day to theresurgent.com, and if you'd like to subscribe to the podcast of my radio show, text the word SHOW to 444-999.